Wanna ride with me, catch a vibe with me, go get out with me, yeah. Shawty, I'm a riding G, I'm a dying piece, I'm a ride.
Okay, so I want to go down here. And we're going to make that soy. And we're going to change this over here to pre mode. So just going to click it until it says pre. And then this one over here is fine for the moment. It's just on manual. So we'll fly at our target area. And we've got a few seconds to do this. There's no need to panic. Just going to go down to here, override, override. Then we're just going to move it around, make it selected, move over to target zone, zoom in, find our target. We found our target. We can put it on auto actually. Then I'm going to select our target with point track. It hands it off over to this one, which is great. Then we're going to change screens over to this one. Have a little zoom in. And then we're going to look around with this one. So I'm going to click on FOV. And then I'm going to look for my target. We've got our target. And then in the top left, there should be this BSD. Click that. It's aligned that one. And you can see which one is aligned by looking down here. This is 7, so then I'll swap it over to the 3. And then we do the same thing. So we find our target, we lock it, and then we click on up here. Done. And now if we want to, we can actually fire at this target on the same run. So we'll just fire. And then we'll have a little look and see if we got the target. But it's all aligned. There you go. We'll just show you if we did really work it out. Done. And we didn't have to do any alignment on the ground. That's a direct hit. So much easier than I think what a lot of the others are showing to do. And you've got your target destroyed. So to use the Mavericks, you want to make sure you've got a few keys set up. You want to make sure you've got radar cursor switch down, up, left, and right for the razor cursor. Then you also need to know what you've got set to display management switch up, display management switch down. That's going to be changing your sensor of interest. The radar cursor switches are for moving around and when you're looking. And then you also want to know what you've got set to MAN-RNG knob CW and MAN-RNG knob CCW. That's for zooming in and out. You can also make sure you know what your trim buttons are, up, down, left and right. You'll also really want to know what your target management switch up is. That's for selecting a target on the ground and locking it up. So you're using that one. You may also want to know what target management switch down is, just so you know what you've got set for that. And then finally, you need to have this set up. WPN release button depress, that's for dropping your bombs. And if you've got all that set up and you know where they are, you're ready to go. Hey and hello, I'll just take you on a little training flight with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop on some Maverick Ds, these ones here, just 2 of them, and we'll try and go out and hit 2 targets. I'll click OK, jump in the cockpit. We'll probably do a bit of a different startup process, so I'm going to turn on all this, just as something different. I'm also going to turn on all this. And I'll go over to here, and now we'll turn on our battery and put it to start 1, close my canopy. While I'm doing that, I'm just going to sweep that up, lock the canopy, lock that. we can turn on the master arm, and then we'll just roll this up, and all done. And you can see this is now at 20. So right shift and home on the keyboard, and you can see now it'll keep going up. Have a look at how the plane's coming along. We've got those 2 missiles on board, so that's all good. We're just waiting now for the plane to start up. You could do more things like turning on your lights if you wanted, but completely unnecessary. Okay, and we're away. So I'm just going to put on my nose wheel steering, give the plane just a little bit of a boost. And we're going to do the alignment once we're up in the sky. I recommend doing it that way. It's so much easier than mucking around on the ground and sitting here for 10-20 minutes. Also, you notice I haven't really done the INS alignment. It started, but I haven't completed it. So what I'm going to do there is just go to nav, because it's also not necessary for this little demonstration. That might help you if you're trying to do this and wondering how can I do it quicker. Because this is certainly a little bit different to some of the others. We're going to change this to the center tank, so I can keep an eye on what's going on with the center tank. Heading out towards the runway. Just keep an eye on your speed. 10 is fine. But you don't want to be doing 20. Spin it around onto the runway, and we'll put it straight in the air. How easy is that? Some other things I can do would be going into here and clicking on the SMS page, making sure I click air to ground, and what I want to do there is click on inventory and click on power on. We want to get that started because this is going to take a few minutes. We haven't taken off yet, but we do want to get that started. So let's give it a little bit of power. Take off our nose wheel steering. We'll just keep it on the runway. This plane's a little bit annoying to take off. I'm not using rudder pedals. If I had, I would be doing this so perfectly, but I'm just using the keyboard here to take off. So if you're wondering if you can take off with a keyboard, you sure can. We'll pull back gently on the... I'm going to keep it really low to the ground. As you can see, I have got it much closer than that before, but that will do for now. Bring my throttle back. Don't need that much power to take off. And then I'm just sort of going to hover to the left of my target site for a little while. So my target site's over there where the smoke is, but I'm going to give myself a little bit more time just to give that weapon a chance to get aligned. So we're going to head down this way for a little bit and stay down here. And then we can look over our plane, because we got up in the air pretty quickly then. I'll see if I can fix my Tobii eye tracker here. We're using the Tobii eye tracker and Windows 11, and I have fixed it. It's way better now. Just adjusting where it is. I've got a joystick in between it and the Tobii, which is the biggest problem. If I can fix it, I just got to have a different setup basically. All that's good. This is on very lightly, the lights and lighting. Plane is not doing too bad, about 300, 400. Just a tad faster than what I need at the moment. I'll change this to A. We can turn on this for no reason. You can put on the HUD if you want to. I don't need it at all, so we're going to turn it off. All that's fine. Could put that if you had a lot on the plane, but we don't have a lot on the plane, so it's okay. Have a little look down there. And our targets are out there on the right wing. So we're just waiting on a weapon. We'll just go check it by clicking WPN, and it looks like it's ready, so that's good. We'll complete our little left turn around, and then we'll head off towards the target. I'll have a little think about my TGP, and we'll show you how you can align it while you're in the sky, because this is a lot quicker. You can see I'm already in the air and taken off and everything. Normally you would still be on the ground and mucking around. Got a bit of cloud today. If we drop down to about 7,000, that should be keeping us just under. That'll be fine then. A fuel flow about 4,000. Anything in the 4,000s is good. Okay, so I want to go down here. And we're going to make that soy. And we're going to change this over here to pre mode. So I'm just going to click it until it says pre. And then this one over here is fine for the moment. It's just on manual. So we'll fly at our target area. And we've got a few seconds to do this. There's no need to panic. Just going to go down to here, override, override. Then we're just going to move it around, make it selected, move over to target zone, zoom in, find our target. We found our target. We can put it on auto actually. Then I'm going to select our target with point track. It hands it off over to this one, which is great. Then we're going to change screens over to this one. Have a little zoom in. And then we're going to look around with this one. So I'm going to click on FOV. And then I'm going to look for my target. We've got our target. And then in the top left, there should be this BSD. Click that. It's aligned that one. And you can see which one is aligned by looking down here. This is 7, so then I'll swap it over to the 3. And then we do the same thing. So we find our target, we lock it, and then we click on up here. Done. And now if we want to, we can actually fire at this target on the same run. So we'll just fire. And then we'll have a little look and see if we got the target. But it's all aligned. There you go. We'll just show you if we did really work it out. Done. And we didn't have to do any alignment on the ground. That's a direct hit. So much easier than I think what a lot of the others are showing to do. And you've got your target destroyed. And we only have one more left to deploy, and then we can get back and land. So I'll just head out this way for a little bit. I could have fixed up this screen, but I haven't. I pretty much just woken up and recorded this video, so a good way to start the day. Just bring this back to weapon. Only real thing, just make sure that you have hit air to ground. So you've got master arm on. I haven't had to do simulate. I haven't had to do ground jet enable, any of that. But I've already got now my 2 pylons sorted. So that's out of the way and done. I just think doing it in the air as you're approaching is so much easier. It doesn't take very long. You can see roughly how far out you were by looking at that, but we haven't got that up anymore. You can look behind me. You can look also behind me on that way, no problem. You can look down here. I can lean over if I need to. I can go down if I need to, whatever I feel like doing. I can look over the nose. No worries. I can look out there. I can look out there. All good. The Toby does run better when I've not got something in between it and me. If you're ever wondering, this max power button does nothing on the F-16, so it doesn't give you any extra power, but you can turn it on anyway. And there is a little button underneath this which stops your afterburner. So if you ever want to run in secondary engine mode, you can switch it over to secondary. You can do it while in flight, it's not a problem. Just if you're going to take off like that, you might find that the plane, you can't just give it full power straight away. You've got to do it gradually. So just be aware of that. It's going down. And we're fine. But yeah, just gradually give it power and you're using the... Don't just suddenly have it at full. You can put it at full eventually. But just when you swap it over, don't do it straight away. Again, we don't need that much, so I'll just bring it down towards here. That's way more than enough. Okay, let's see if we can find this target. It doesn't matter if I have to overfly it a few times. I'm just doing this as a learning flight. But if we had to take off quickly and hit a target down there quickly, well, we have at least got that happening for them, some support. There's the target area. Great stuff. So we'll just level it up. And then we are very interested in my TGP first. It's still, well, in theory, this should be in the pre-mode. I just click on the air to ground again. There we go, that looks a lot better. And then I'm going to go over to this screen. We just want to click on override. I'm going to zoom it out. And then we'll try and move it around. So we can begin to see where we are. There's the target area. And we'll click on narrow. You can see one of the smoking things down there. Then we want to zoom in. And then I'm just looking for my target. There should be another one out here. There we go. My friend over here. So I'll point track him. We'll hand over that information to the other one. And then we'll go fly in. Swap the control over. Target lock. We've got the lock. And then we're just going to fire the missile. And then we can turn away. We don't need to hang out there. We can put this on if we want to. Just to hold the plane a little bit. Keep an eye on the missile and we'll see if it hits the target. It's going to be hidden behind it, isn't it? So it goes through the flames and then direct hit. So that's how you can do it. I'm sure you can get better at it than me, but I mean, having to sit on the ground and do your alignment and all that stuff, I just think it's easier to do that in the sky. And I dip my wings slightly and use the battle assessment over there. We've got 2 extra smoking items and we'll head back and land pretty quick. So that's the deployment of the Mavericks. That's pretty much how I'm doing it. You could do it so much more smoother by practicing this over and over again. As I say, I just woke up. I got my Tobii eye tracker. Not quite perfect at the moment, but I still managed to hit a couple of targets. So it's just a training flight for me. Just sort of making sure I got some idea of the process. Past that, you can take it out of air to ground mode. You can turn off your master arm, and then you can put it back in whatever you want to put it back in. Of course, we've got nothing else on the plane. If you have a look down here, we haven't got a lot of fuel on us. We've got still a little bit of fuel in that center tank. So we've done all that just on the center tank of fuel, which is not bad. And we could get rid of it. If you don't know how to, you can click on here, SMS, and then do you see there's SJ, that's for the jettison, so you click on this, and then to jettison the center tank you just click that and select it, and then you would just turn on your master arm and then do your weapon release. So if I have a look here and weapon release, done. So it's a bit of fuel in that, so it's going to be a bit heavy if it hits someone, but yeah, that's all that done. My radar's back up just so I can keep an eye on what's going on. There's an airbase down there, so we can go land at it. Get our speed down. If you are ever going fast, it's really easy to slow this plane down. Got air brakes. It's really cool to fly this little thing. So they're out. I won't put the gear out yet. We'll just have a look out our window there. There's we can choose whichever runway. Just keep getting my altitude down-ish. That's the most important thing I can do right now. And the longer I go out, the more time I'll give myself. There's our runway. There's another little airport, but that's not the one we're trying to go for. We'll keep bringing it down. Again, I'm not using rudder pedals, so if you wanted to be serious, you would need that, I think. But you can land it with just a keyboard. It's okay. So we're sort of lined up here. Just drifting our way along. We're on the runway. And the nose is down. And this is really where the only trouble happens. Just keep tapping W. It's a lot easier if you're not using a keyboard. We're safely on the ground. I don't know where we can land, probably up here. We'll go up this way. I'm not sure if that one looks okay. Cool little base, this one. If you're wondering where I was on the map, we're just using the Syria map, and I'm just here at the moment. I'm at down the bottom, towards the bottom of the map. And we will go into there. So look, that's the way you can do it, and you can hit your targets, as you can see. You don't need your INS, you don't have to do the ground stabilize, you can just do it once you take off and up into the sky. So for game purposes, if you're just trying to do this for having fun, and you're not worried about doing anything that's unnecessary for you just to drop those bombs, then you can do this. I might bring my plane just a little bit more forward, because I still do have the engine on. So I'll let the parking brake come off. The problem with these ones is you can't reverse out of them. So if there was like a way to get the plane pushed back or something, that would be cool. Just because there are places like this in the game, but other than that, we're on the ground. If you want to do a shutdown, you can do that pretty easily. Right shift and end on the keyboard and turn your battery off. And left control and C. Oh, sorry, we've got to unlock this thing. And left control and C. This shift canopy, and you're pretty much ready to get out of the plane now. So there you go. That's the Maverick D's employed and back and safely on the ground. The whole thing. Hope that helps if you're wondering about what you really need to do, and just give you a different look at how you can do and employ the Maverick D's. Have a great day.